All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. Today I am elated. Oh man, just on a technical standpoint. We can schedule events now. If you guys have ever wondered, like, man, I gotta wait for the link and everything like that, we can schedule events through our streaming software that actually lets us stream to Twitter and to YouTube. This is monumental. If you guys aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, by the way, if you're listening to this, watching on Twitter or anything like that, do us a favor, head over to youtube.com/at RareFUD Radio. And yeah, you can go ahead and subscribe there. We can now pre-schedule events so you can get notified, even if you don't have your bell icon on for whenever we do go live for that event. This is fantastic. This helps us so much overhead. What we usually rush to do before the show. This is huge. But on today's episode, we have a lot to talk about. So getting into the market is flying right now. We do have Utes bridging over to Polygon, what that means for the ecosystem. Shortly after, I would imagine we have DeGods going over to ETH as planned. What's going to happen? What certain liquidity hole is going to be filling that void? We're going to find out. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about Lily and Lotus, the upcoming airdrop they have planned for next week. We're going to be talking about upcoming mints. We'll be talking about famous fox, trans-dimensional foxes, and everything in between. Today's show is absolutely packed. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring on my wonderful co-host, my brother-in-arms, Dor. How you doing, Dor?
Yo, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday, and I'm happy to be back for another one, man. Market's pumping. Get to chill with my boy Bison and Joe, and we got a new background for the channel created by a wonderful audience member, man. Feel so honored. So yeah, I'm doing great, dog.
Yeah, man. It's nice, dude. I never thought we'd ever get fan art. I'm just talking about JPEG. So
I know, right? It's kind of surreal to me. I'm like, holy crap, we got fan art. Like the
fuck? Seriously, thank you so much. I think it was Poof, right? Poof the pup.
Yeah, Poof.
Was the creator of this. Thank you so much, Poof. This was awesome. Nice little surprise to wake up to. But also, Joining us as usual, the man, the myth, the legend himself, JoeSol. How you doing, Joe?
What's up, Sam? Doing well, man. Doing real well. Been super busy. Some good life back in the NFT market that we love. So I've been having a good time, man. Very good past couple of days.
Absolutely, dude. Market's pumping today, and I think it is because youths are going over to Polygon. A lot of liquidity. You know, a lot of people, I'm sure, have a NFT that is worth about 140, 160 sold, depending on when you sold, now to spend on the ecosystem. And some people have more than that. So where does that liquidity rotate into? Well, of course, some people went to Polygon, but I honestly, what's more likely, right? Is it going to be selling on Polygon to bridge back to Solana, or keeping it over in Polygon? You know, and people going from Solana over to Polygon. That's my question. I think we're going to see a nice little grab of liquidity from Polygon money going back over to Sol. This is, to me, honestly, this is a good thing. We'll get into that a little bit more, but let's go ahead and talk about the market summary. What we got going on right now, if you want to follow along with us, txo.com/stats-screen is the place to go. If you look over the past 24 hours, we have 157,000 Solana volume for NFTs, and it feels like it too. Today is one of those days that this volume feels good. 150 is about par for the course. I would say that's like above average, right? Anything over 100, we're happy with. Over 150, great. Over 200 and above, we're flying.
Amazing.
We're flying, right? So this is a good day. A lot of things are flying, dude. Flanos absolutely getting swept. I mean, I cannot tell you how many wallets I saw just by 10 at a time, dude. It was insane this morning. I was like having to, like rub my eyes. I was just getting off Easy Show, and I was like, holy cow, people are absolutely sweeping these like 5, 10, 20 at a time. It was nuts this morning.
Crazy.
Now hovering close to all-time highs at 87 SOL. If you're looking on Tensor, that does not include royalties as well. Royalties are enforced on this collection. But guys, how we feeling about the market? Let's go with Joe first and then Dor. Joe, how you feeling about the market, my man?
Yeah, I'm feeling good about the market. Sorry, I just took a sprint inside to get to the show, and I'm still recovering.
You want me to go Dor first then?
No, I'm good. I'm recovered. Only need one good, nasal breath there. No, the liquidity event, man, I think is great for NFTs because, I mean, I'm a Ute holder and I've had a few Utes. I did bridge one for the culture, and the rest I sold on the pump I saw in the morning because I was thinking about getting some. This is my whole thought about it, right? I want a little exposure to it, but it is some risk. So the rest of it, I know I can do better in Solana. It's where I'm bred. It's what I'm used to. So having the ability to sell some between that 100 to 50 to 160 SOL range, I just don't think I'll see much more of a multiplier over there. If I do, I have one sitting. But I use that SOL to come back into the ecosystem, right? Come back with Klanos, Sharky, Famous Fox, Claymake, all these really good products I think are going to see that same event, especially when 33% comes out, right? People go, well, I didn't bridge. I'm confused. I don't want to bridge anymore. And that 33% kicks in. Well, I'm not going to, I have to sell it before that. I'm going to lose 33% of my profit. So I think that's going to cause a lot of liquidity to stay in Solana. And you're going to see these projects that are pumping, maybe take a small retrace, but we might see some really next level 2 to 3 to 4 SOL moves in some of these projects floors in the next couple of days. Especially, you see what happened with Utes, right? Think about DeGod's migration. It might not be at the same scale, but I do think there's going to be some DeGods that go, you know what? I'm going to offload 1 or 2, go grab me some Klanos, go grab me whatnot, and have some exposure still in the Solana market. So I think it's a bullish effect for us here in this ecosystem that we love.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 100. I mean, I could not have said it better, Joe. We'll definitely be diving into it a little bit deeper because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of implications in the market that comes with the Utes bridge, right? I mean, it's just a big gap to fill. And then eventually DeGod. I mean, if you think this is big, once DeGods leaves, I think we're going to see just that same effect on a different magnitude. But what do you think about the market, Dor? How you feeling about it right now?
Man, I'm feeling good, dog. Nothing's better than waking up and seeing my Klano bags pump. Like, come on, let's go, dog. So I agree with the sentiment that Joe just expressed. It's like Utes leaving the number 2 volume or top 2 project on the chain. Leaving that having that liquidity hole, and projects are vying for that #1 spot, man. And I think right now, I know we've been talking about it on this show for months at this point. It's just Cleanosaur. So we're seeing a lot of that volume that's either rotating from people taking profits on Utes and Utes leaving to bridge over to Matic, and people rotating that liquidity back into the ecosystem. So yeah, man, it feels good. And as you just said, Bison, I wonder what's going to happen when DeGods leaves, man. Like having a 600 and something SOL floor price is no easy feat, man. That's some high volume and consistent volume too for a Solana project. So when that's gone, it's going to definitely be interesting to see what happens after that. But overall, man, I'm feeling real good.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, it feels nice to see, because this is where we get information asymmetry. What I always say in markets, that's where we find our edge and everything like that, is that it's a scramble now, where that liquidity is going, who people are placing their bets on, and it might not even be now. You know, we do have upcoming mints that should pump as well. We'll talk about the mints that just happened too, because I think they're actually seeing, you know, a little bit of a stall out right now, and we're gonna see what we got cooking up with them. But nonetheless, we got to talk about it, y'all. We got to talk about Utes migrating over to Polygon. We got to talk about the implications that come with it, because it's not just what's going to happen on Sol, but do you guys, I mean, we've talked about it for a while now. I just don't know how much more upside they have to it. At the same time, I can also see the upside. You know, they're pricing it in WETH over there on Polygon. If you guys have not used Polygon before, it is, if you're just like a Solana maxi or you use Solana before, it's not fun. I mean, like I've used blockchain after blockchain, right? I've used all of them.
Yeah.
Or most of them, I should say. I used a lot of the popular ones, and Polygon just, it's gross. It is not fun. It's not fun to use. And so if you are not technically apt, if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to Polygon, I mean, getting funds over could literally take 30 minutes to an hour minimum. And so for some people, I think that's just going to be a big deterrence. Is I don't care how much you have in terms of brand and everything like that. If people cannot access your liquidity and cannot buy stuff and feel like it's a seamless process, for me, I think that's just like full stop. You're not going to onboard anybody. And so I do see the bullish case though, because ETH people do have that liquidity, and it's, you know, for them, it's a little bit more native feeling to them. And so you can see everything being priced in WETH, they could just like port their ETH over to Polygon, and they can absolutely send this stuff. And especially, I think it was so smart they did Utes first before they did DeGods, because Utes would become an afterthought. Now they can ape into Utes, pump that floor up a little bit, and then, you know, once DeGods hits, that's the real mecca, right? Thoughts, Dor? What are your thoughts on them going over to Polygon? Do you see any sort of play? Because I just don't see the multiple there.
No, I don't. I wouldn't be. I'm actually looking for an entry into Utes on Matic. I'm not. I guess there's enough different companies, and I'm bullish on Frank and what he's doing to see the long-term potential in there. So, but I wouldn't recommend aping in now. I just don't see why I would pay a premium for a Ute at this price when all the focus is on them. So I want to pick up a Ute on a pullback potentially when a DeGods and a bridge to ETH is announced. But I don't see a lot of upside in picking up a Ute at these prices. Not saying long term, they could do great long term. I just think you might be able to get a 30, 40 SOL, whatever that price is, and wrapped ETH better entry if you just have a little bit of patience. And one thing that where I find my edge in this market is just by being able to think longer than 2 weeks. So I think I'm going to continue with that. But as far as DeGods, I'm really excited for DeGods to move to ETH. I think it's been a long time coming, and I think that Frank will be able to really take what he's built on Solana and grow DeGods to new heights over there. And it's unfortunate, but I think DeGods has been kind of capped by the amount of liquidity on Solana, and having that ceiling removed over on ETH, I think they're really going to fly. So I think, so Joe said a couple episodes ago, the cheapest DeGods you're going to see is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, like, what are you kind of in the same boat as far as the thought process goes?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat for sure as Dor. Utes wise, right? It's hard, right? There's 15,000 of them, and then I know brand sponsorships and things like that are an incentive to have, but as a holder, you don't really know where your IP starts or ends. And then I guess you incentivize through U points. Hopefully enough hype mints of bigger projects come in and you can utilize those. But if you're not accruing anymore, if you're not planning on staking it and you just want to kind of flip it, because it's custodial right now on Matic. So it's leaving your wallet. It's a whole, like, we're moving back in time by going there, right? So it is what it is. I do think there'll be a liquidity event. I do think people will make money, and I think they'll be successful. I've been with Frank for almost a year plus now, and he's made me a lot of money. I'm not fading that at all. But I do think that if you have multiple, it's not a bad idea to cash a couple in and keep some on SOL, keep some spot SOL, maybe some USDC. That's at least what I'm doing, because the risk to reward's there, but the risk is a bit high. It's more of a 3-to-1 than a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1 ratio for me. And in that sense, I like to keep minimal exposure there so I don't feel FOMO. I still have the exposure that I need, and we'll let it play out. Like Dorian said, you can always come back in at a lower price and snag. And hey, if they do go parabolic, you missed it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And many other plays there, but the risk to reward is there. It's just the risk is a bit high.
So I agree. I think the one thing that we are overlooking collectively is not so much the multiple play, because I just don't see it. There's no way you 2x, 3x over on Polygon with how many buyers, how much liquidity is over there. All the numbers I've seen as far as like, oh, they're trending or sales or anything, just feels completely fake, completely fraudulent. It doesn't feel real. The one thing I will say, though, is that there are plays out there that have done really well. We got a lot of people in Cyber Sams that are Hellcats. Got a lot of people that love the iced out bull flip, I think is what it was called, where it's their coin flip that's going on over there. That like 3x or something. And so I think the value is not so much in the multiples play, but the fact that if it is going to be an incubator, and this could be like a complete jump starter. I think this is more bullish for all the brands that are over there because they don't know jack squat about launching a damn project or how to appease to degens or anything. We've just seen them fail time and time again. If they decide to partner with Utes and be like, hey, we need your help to incubate this and become, like let everybody know we're a major brand, but we really need to tap into the people that are our audience right now. And if that's the case, and we can mint these projects with our Ute points or anything like that, I think that's where the value is. So this is more of a dividend play, in my opinion, versus, like a multiples play. I would think of it in that sense. I think that's where the reward will come. And I think Dor is right. An entry over on Polygon, whenever they do all bridge and whenever the 33.3 does kick in for the paper hand bridge tax, which we'll talk about in a second, does kick in. And we see most of them either migrate over there or they sold long before. I think that's the play. And if I can find some with U points at a lower cost than I can get on Solana, that's the move. I think that's going to be the move. That's going to be the alpha. That's going to be where you find that value arbitrage, if you will. But
I just think I'm not a chain maxi, and regardless if I don't fully understand Matic, there is a community over there. And the fact that Frank is taking Utes over there and has all these from what he's seen, him and Kevin have pre-line partnerships with a lot of established companies. It's just not something I want to fade. So even though I don't need to understand it fully, I still want to have some exposure to that. And there's no better way to have exposure than picking up a Ute. So I fully plan to pick up a Ute. Just not right now. Just give it a little bit, but I'm going to get back in.
Yeah, I agree, because I think there will be a time, like now that they caught their breath from bridging, not only do that to focus on bridging D-Gods over to ETH, but I think there'll be a little bit of time before they can actually scale into operations that they are an incubator. I think that little downtime is really the play for buying a Ute. That would just be my 2 cents. It's probably going to be what I scope to do right there with you, Dor. But let's talk about the paper hand bridge tax. Now, if you guys don't know, this is an allusion back to when D-Gods originally started. They had a paper hand bridge tax, and that's what these burned D-Gods, the 535 that got minted on ordinals, were supposed to be. They were supposed to be burnt, got minted on ordinals. We had brilliant marketing, just raised like, 5 mil plus over there. Worked out really well for them. So this is a play on words. The PHBT is back starting on April 3rd. You will get a 33.3% royalty enforcement if you sell your Ute on Solana. I want to touch base with you guys because, this is a team that has been forgiven time after time for delays. Do you think this is a fair timeline in order to sell your Ute or make an informed decision Let's go with Door first and then Joe.
Yeah, I don't. While Frank is able to get away with things that other projects wouldn't, I think if it was another project, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's a bit unfair. But for Frank, it's like, he has. I guess he's working under certain timelines. I don't think he would arbitrarily set this. So while it's not optimal for a lot of users in the community who aren't paying attention, I do think it's a week out or whatnot. So you knew this event was coming. It's like it doesn't take that long. It's like it sucks, but hey, dog, just roll with it. It's like we can sit here and complain about it all day, but if you're being informed, you better make a decision quick and roll with it. So I trust that Frank's doing it for a good reason.
Yeah, I agree. I think it might not even be a good reason so much as it is an enforced reason. Like that, Polygon probably is like, hey, we gave you a bag, like we need this stuff enforced, we need them over to Polygon, and we need you to figure out a way. And they probably like, oh, we'll just allude back to the PHBT, right? Joe, what are your thoughts on the PHBT with such a short time frame? Because literally it's only like 6 days away from enforcement or something like that. Is it April 3rd? Am I correct in saying that, Joe?
Yeah, it's April 3rd or April 4th. You are correct. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's like kind of like salty to me, dude. Like you need to give people a little bit more time. People have lives, people are on vacation, people are doing things. And like you took your money on the back end. Don't hurry up and force me now. Let me trade on Sol. If I don't want to bridge it, then cost me dust after a certain time. Cost me fees at a certain time. Don't do it for free then. But you force it and go, oh, I'm going to buy your bags 33% less. That's basically what's going to happen, right? The team's going to come in and sweep. So are you going to buy my bags at 33% less because I couldn't get on it in 6 days? Nah, homie. Where I'm from, that's shaky, that's sneaky, that's shady. I don't like that. Listen, I'm not saying I don't like them. Obviously, I'm a big bag holder, and it's okay for me to have my opinions here. I just know personally people that hold it down 20, 30 utes that aren't going to be able to bridge in time. Like they have like actual companies and logistics and things that they need to get through to even get home to their ledgers to do this stuff. So now all of a sudden they have to be forced now to basically bridge over their ute somehow, right? They could call somebody, give them their pat. Like it gets sketchy here. So I hear what Door's saying, because at the end of the day, as an investor, you're buying a risky illiquid asset. You better be on top of it. But on the other end, it's like, man, maybe 20 to 30 days would have been cool. Maybe a month, bridging month or something like that. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. No, Joe, you're right, man. I do agree with you. It's like, you've delayed God knows how long, and you telling people they got a week. Yeah. Like, come on, dog. And especially if you do have 20 to 30 utes, and if you're that big of a holder, you probably do have something going on outside
of trust, right? Trust us, trust in the process. Well, listen, trust us. We want to get over there, but sometimes we need informed decisions, right? Maybe we want to see what's going on first and make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And I just think, like Bison said, I don't think they would have done it in a situation where they had all the power, but I don't think they have all the power here. I do think they were put a little weight on, like, hey guys, let's speed this up, incentivize it, get it over here quick. We're not playing any games, And it's a win-win for the team, right? Because, okay, 33%, I can literally come in and buy them at 33%, especially if they're my royalties, correct?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Discount on your own project.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So like we get it. It's an EV positive play for you guys. Just think about the consumer a little bit here.
Yep. Yeah. I didn't even think about that too, Joe. Like the fact that it was such a short window. Imagine you went on vacation and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna list a rare one or something like that for like 200 SOL. And you went on vacation, you didn't have like access to your computer, or you weren't able to do anything, like maybe you were away from Twitter even. You're like, hey, I just need a break or anything like that. You missed this. Next thing you know, your 200 SOL sale is now turned into like 35% less with fees and everything like that, because you just you didn't have enough time. I completely agree. I do think it's way too quick. I mean, like that just, it doesn't feel right to me. But at the same time, you got to stir the pot. We say it time and time again. If it ain't controversial, it's not good marketing. And like, look, this is absolutely killing it. You want them back in the limelight. They did exactly that. So, look, I don't like it personally. That does it. It's just like a thumbs down on a video, right? Yeah. It's still engagement. So, look, congrats to them for pulling it off. It does look like there are utes over on Polygon now. We will miss them, but I won't necessarily, because we have a liquidity hole to fill now, and we are seeing it. I mean, things are flying
Yeah.
right now. Just looking over on Tensor, we are looking at 86.5 Sol Claynosaurs, which flew up literally, like, I mean, I'm talking just over the past couple of days, like 30 Sol. Absolutely amazing. You just knew. We called this too. We literally
Months
said,
ahead.
like we literally said, hey, they're gonna dip back down to 60. That's
Yeah.
probably gonna be when I buy, and that was almost the Pico bottom. Like it just dipped into like the 50-ish range, like the high 50s.
High 50s.
I mean, God bless. That was chef's kiss. But
Perfect.
you know, this is, I mean, that was healthy price action, right? You go to NFTLA, you get your stuff. Some people are going to sell their Claynosaurs. Some people are going to be focused on other things. Then what happens? Well, eventually we're like, okay, there's going to be a liquidity hole. We need it to be filled. Boom. Claynosaurs is the clear. I think it is the consensus #1 pick to fill the void for the #1 spot.
Yep.
I do see some other projects doing really cool things. I think they will compete maybe for the #1 spot, but probably more so for that top 5.
Yeah.
You know, we see it with the Foxes. Foxes had a really nice run up, ran up to 66.5 right now, and 21.6 for transdimensional. That's an insane run up. I mean, they've held neck and neck with each other. Combined, they're basically at the volume of Claynosaurs. So hats off to the Foxes. They're doing cool stuff too. I don't know if you guys saw Foxton or whatever it is. I'm not big on metaverses. We said this before. I'm all about niche metaverses, like the suites whenever they come out, because I think sports metaverses does sound really sick. It's a cool way to onboard a lot of people. But a general metaverse, like, dog, Fortnite Creative just 2.0 just came out. I have not played Fortnite in ages, and that stuff looks so cool. You're not competing with that. So general metaverses, not it. But Foxton, I can see being cool. I can see it being like a little marketplace for Solana NFTs. Like, imagine a virtual, you know, space where you can kind of interact and go exchange tokens, or, you know, you could do Foxy swaps with other people. I just think that would be cool. So if that's the route they're going, I think Foxes could be a play. Plus, if things are pumping like this, raffle meta is always going to be a thing, because it's just a great way to get more for your NFT if you do it right. So I think they will always be there. But ABC, kind of up from its lows. I
don't know about ABC, dog.
no,
so
I don't want anything to do with it.
I don't want to touch that thing, man. It is just not good. Like, so I want to hit on the point you were saying about like Project vying for the #1 spot. Yeah, man. Freaking I really think Claynos is running a strong contender to take that spot as soon as D-Gods leaves, man. It just seems like the stars are aligning.
Question. I really don't.
I don't either, dog. I just, yeah. So, but while I will think they will become the overall #1, I do think Foxy is competing for that utility where they're probably going to overtake Tayo here pretty soon, man. Yeah, I definitely think Foxy's going to overtake. They just have such a strong history of executing, and even in terms of the community side, because of the whole thing going on with Hadesdow, which we'll get into in a second. Monkey Baby Business is another community-based group that I think has a strong ability to propel itself back above 100. Or did they break 100? I think they got pretty close.
They were at like 120 almost at one point.
Yeah.
So they definitely do. I think that is like a clear sympathy play for anybody who's looking to get out of SMB but still have that SMB ethos. Look, I just love Finn. I love the community in general. Like, I know a lot of cool people in Monkey Baby Business, so that just feels like a very obvious play. But continue, Dor. You're cooking over here.
Thank you, man. So Monkey Baby Business on the community side, but going back to the Hadesdow thing, is that I just don't foresee a future with ABCs other than, you know, it's great that they have the AMM that they integrated with Tensor. I'm not going to take that from them. But what other value prop are you going to drive? It's like you don't need Hades token to utilize an AMM. So what's the point of doing the governance other than holding the rights for SMB? It's pretty much leverage over Monkey DAO's head. And with the whole proposal that's going on, Monkey DAO has just passed a proposal to clearly take steps to do everything possible to get away from the SMB IP. That's either through acquiring it from Hadesdow or entangling or burning their NFTs for another one. But once Hadesdow loses that, it's like they'll have the SMB IP, But who the heck is going to buy that without Monkey DAO? Because SMPIB get all the value from Monkey DAO. So it's like you got this. If you don't want to sell it, you have this bleeding IP with some, I think, a terrible idea to make a stable coin backed by the most volatile asset. Makes no sense. So yeah, man, ABCs, I ain't got no hope. HGE, we'd love to have you on. We'd love for you to come up here and talk to us about plans for Hades DAO. But unless you release something out, man, I'm feeling bearish.
Yeah, I don't know. I will always hear people out. If he ever did want to come on the show, like, you know, happy to talk to him in a very level-headed manner, like I would with any other guest on here. But yeah, I just right now at these prices, especially, they're the ones I'm most worried about. I mean, look, I know Dord just bought another monkey. You know, I know we have conflicting thoughts as far as how it goes. To me, I mean, look, you buy the FUD. We always say it. So congrats to you for having that.
I'm already up, dog. Your boy bought the bottom.
I know you did. So, yeah, I look, as far as taking a gut punch and stuff like that, just be like, okay, I know it is bleeding. I'm just going to bite the bullet. Right now is the best time to buy.
It's hard.
So far, it's worked out, right? So far, it's worked out. And I do think eventually, like, it'll just be a rocky few months or so, but eventually Monkey DAO will find its way back as like one of the most prominent generative DAOs out there. They still get opportunity out the wazoo. They still have some of the smartest people in the space. I mean, it is who it is. I seriously do believe though that people like, I want to get into Clano Capital because I think that's going to be the next like incubator for projects, right? We saw it with SMB released the first wave of projects for Solana, them and maybe Degen Apes and stuff. Then it went over to DGods. We saw a ton of DGods related projects, you know, Vandals, Jacon, well, not Jacon. I want to say, I mean, Oogie right now is definitely a sympathy play. Blocksmith came, you know, was pretty much incubated by the DGod community. I think Clano is the next like top project that is going to be an incubator for a lot of these community members to really like start their own projects as well. And so I'm looking for that. I think going into like it's so expensive going to Clano Capital right now. Though holy cow, it's like 30 Clanos you need or an ancient. Whew. That is like 2,500 SOL right there.
Yeah. So I think, and you brought up a good point about capital and like these projects incubating things, dude. What I think I messed up on Oogie was not realizing who was incubating these projects. DGods were bullish on them. These dudes are diamond hand holders who have a ton of liquidity. That's probably going to do good. Why do we think projects backed by Boogles? I mean, don't get me wrong, Boogles are not all Boogles, but people feel like Boogles dump on people. But people usually go into those projects because they know they're going to pump. So I think just following the liquidity is a clear sign of things I need to keep out for the future. It's like if we see DGods are bullish on another project like Oogie or Clay Capital are like, yo, this one's solid. It's like maybe we should jump into that project, even if we're not 100% sure on it.
Yeah. Well, and I think they're going to be the ones that get the next round of opportunity, right? Because it is a high entrance fee now.
Yes.
It is basically the equivalent of a Boogle. It is not, it's about as half as much as it would be for DGod X or the DGod 10 plus club for the 10 plus holders. It's just a really good, as they continue to rise in price, I just think it's going to be the one that, you know, a lot of people look at them and say they have a lot of capital at their disposal.
Quick question, Bison. The legendary like spray cans and the stuff that came out in NFTLA, are they going to turn into ancients or something?
Yeah. So if I read correctly, and I might not have, but it looks like you will be able to burn one of your Clanosaurs. So you can pick whatever one with the artifact, and it will turn into kind of an ancient or legendary at least. I think the artifacts, what is it? It's the artifacts and then the relics or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are the two grades. Whatever's the most rare will turn into an ancient. The other ones will turn into legendaries. I think that will be, you know, but the problem is it won't remain the same dino from my understanding. It will turn into the artist's favorite dino. So they're picking whatever artist dino it is. So just keep that in mind. It's something that, you know, I think there could be like information asymmetry. We talk about it all the time here, where there could be value plays there, but definitely something to know. Joe, how do you feel about all this? I mean, literally, there's just so much to talk about in the market that, I mean, we got plays for days, man. Plays for days. And, you know, I'm looking at some of these other collections where we are looking at like Lily, ovals, and I would say cyber frogs are probably my 3 picks for like really good multiple value plays that I could see reaching back for like a 40 range even. I mean, Lily maybe like 25 or something like that. We'll get there first, but ovals have already done it. I think cyber frogs are like a rabid community, and I think Thor is like one of the coolest tools I've seen in a while. But you know, I always talk about utility plays that it can be replicated, right? You can always have competitors going in there. But Joe, I want to hear your take on the market. Where do you see all this kind of settling once Utes moves, and then DGods too? Because DGods is going to be seriously, I think, magnitude bigger. The problem is with DGods is I see a lot of the money that's going over to ETH staying on ETH. A lot more so than the money that's going over to Polygon will probably come back to Sol.
Yep.
Joseph?
Yeah, it's my cue. Yeah, man. I agree 100%. No, you guys, I'm chilling listening, man. You guys are hitting all the points, dude. Yeah, like I do think once DGods Utes leaves, there's been a subconscious blanket over the market. We all know it's happening. We all have kind of been waiting, sideline liquidity, kind of see where people are interjecting their guesses now, right? Where everything you guys said, famous Fox, pixelated foxes, Sharky, Lily, Lotus. And then you got your utility plays, right? Like that you explained that could really hold some value, like Cyber Frogs, Netrunner, all these guys that are still building and really like coming in and crafting that their utility to be as best as it can be. And I know there's some utility that can be easily given a free API from a service. Like Hello Moon has a lot of free APIs now, so people can come plug and play. But like a trading bot isn't that easy to do, and it costs a lot of money. So like one of those. So you just look for those type of utility plays that aren't able to be replicated as easy and already have a strong community behind as well, right? And I think truthfully, man, there's some of these communities that are so up in profit, they're buying back in now.
Yeah, dog.
They made hundreds to thousands of SOL on one project, and they're buying back in now. Like, all right, I'm holding for the next bull swing, right? I think we're seeing the bottom here in the past couple months with triple black swan events, and liquidity's still here in an illiquid market, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's saying something for sure. But like I said on Good Morning GM Market Talk with Easy today, man, I'm really stuck on where this market making money is going to go, right? You see Utes, DGods, Klanos. That's not unique wallet volume that we see daily. It's like 24 to 30K volume on that project. That's not unique wallets going back and forth, guys. That's funded from an exchange to a wallet, clean wallet, and they're trading automatically, right? You can tell that's not a wallet that's been here, right? So that liquidity is where I'm hyped to see what happens to that, right? Because they're not going to go cash their SOL bags into, right? They're going to keep market making, keep accruing fees, doing the framework that they have built, farming Tensor, and doing whatever else they want to do. I think that's going to bring in a lot of liquidity for said products that we love that we're talking about right now. And I think that's like the dark horse of it all. But you guys got to realize that's half of our market, right? 35 to 40% is these either groups or individuals that are market making, right? Strictly. And so retail only makes up about 60% of our market volume wise. So that I think is a big sleeper that I'm looking for to really give you that quick instant liquidity, go take your profits, keep a bag when we're chilling now. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. 100%. I do think there's some, so this is a perfect transition too, because we do have a new wave of upcoming mints that are happening in the market. You know, tomorrow is Toonies. The third, I think, is Soul Casino. We do have Iron Paw Gang also minting on the third, but that will be over on ETH. Heist is coming soon. I'm not giving a specific date until I am authorized to do so. But it will be in April. You'll know that much. It's in April, so it is coming quick because I didn't advertise it or anything. If you guys want whitelist for the heist, giving away one right now. Secret code. You guys want to, you have to at me in the server at Sheriff Bison. It does not count if you do not at me. So at Sheriff Bison, and then you're going to put in gorillas are better. Gorillas are better. That's the key phrase. You at Sheriff Bison, gorillas are better. Whoever does it first and you don't have whitelist, I am now giving whitelist too.
All right, let's go.
First. But let's talk about what's coming up on the market, because there's a few quality projects coming up. I'm excited for Toonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I know Toonies has been prepping for a mint for a long time now. And I'm in the fellas chat with the founder of Toonies or whatnot. So I have a whitelist there. So I plan on minting. But can you give us a little bit more information on what Toonies is going to be about?
Yeah, so as far as the two founders go, it is Time Thief NFT. If
I
you
know
guys don't
Time
know who
Thief.
Time Thief is, he's
They're
a
solid.
guy who's made he's an artist. He's made a bunch of filters on like Snapchat and stuff like that, like augmented reality stuff. He's done it for Cyber Sams, he's done it for D Gods, he's done it for there's a few other projects that he's done it for. But he's great. He's been in the ecosystem for a long time. He's been a net positive. And then boy with no legs. Goodness gracious. I was
No
blanking on
legs.
it. Yeah, no legs.
No legs.
No legs is great. He's another great artist. It's people that have been around for a while. I don't know why people are fading artists. I was talking to Darren Mola today too, because Darren Mola had kind of a botched mint. What was it, yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
He is opening up. I think there's gonna be another link for like the remaining like 200 or 100 or something like that. This man has given away so much value, and artists continue to do so. So I see something like Toonies where it looks like there's cool mechanisms where you can actually burn the NFT for a digital, like the actual copy, like a physical copy of the NFT that
That's
you
sick.
got. And I don't know what it's going to come with too. I think there's a lot of game theory that goes behind it, which is really fun to me. The art just looks sick, and I've just always been on board with
So the specs are out, big.
What's up?
For what you're exactly getting. They put the specs out for exactly what you're getting with a burn mechanism.
What are we getting?
So you're getting a really cool custom box with Toonie, your actual Toonie on there. Inside it's going to be like a keychain, stickers, I think a few other trinkets that are like handcrafted. Then you'll have your Toonie figure, it's with itself, and then a smaller Toonie figure that's like a keychain. And then like art as well. So it's like a pretty cool package deal that you're getting here. And I know it's very well quality, but you guys have said they're top-notch guys. They're not playing around, real artists. And then people are forgetting about the crazy one of ones they have in there. The Iron Paw one, crazy. You know what I'm saying? The DGen Poet one's crazy. There's really cool stuff. So I'm excited just because I like digital stuff, man. I'm excited to pack up the studio with this.
Dude, that sounds super cool. And like, I think a lot of people don't know, but No Legs has done a lot of work with High Blinks. He has a custom one-of-one piece with her. I think he's done, I know, one with Fetty for fellas. But yeah, it's that sounds awesome, not only on the digital side of things, but just being well known in the space, man. So I'm super excited for this project.
Yeah, I am too. So I need to DM them. I don't know if I will be able to get whitelist now. It might be too late, but there's a couple of reasons I like Toonies a lot and why I think it's kind of slept on. I think it'll be more of a slow grinder. Or not. I think they could rock it up too. I think that is well within the realm of possibilities. And the reason I'm thinking this is, one, there's only 3,000 of them. That is a nice low supply. We have not had a low supply in a hot minute. These are backed by artists, so of course they're going to get their artist friends to come in. Artist people will literally hold things to zero. They will hold it to zero. So you're already talking about supply being withheld off the market and just people enjoying the art. You know what I mean? The fact that we are going digital, and I think digital is a huge untapped potential market for NFTs, and that there's no better place, in my opinion, than Solana to do it. So I just look at it and I'm like, okay, this all just matches up. It's a low supply. I don't think it's an exorbitant mint cost. It's like 4.5 or something, right, Joe?
That's not bad.
Joe, do you have mint cost? I think it's 4.5.
Yeah, I'm looking. I was trying to find it for you, but my phone was like acting up. I think it's 3.5 to 4.5. I'm not sure. I think 4.5. I think you're right with 4.5.
So 4.5 is totally reasonable to me, especially with this low supply. What you'll get with it. I mean, look, we did the same thing with IOTA, which I'm super excited for. At the end of the year, we'll eventually get that comic. That's gonna be sick. I just think it taps into another market that, you know, nobody else is doing it. It's unique, cool shit, you know. So I'm all for it. I will always support that kind of stuff because it advances the NFT, like what NFTs can be, right? And so it's super unique and everything.
Sorry to go off on the side a bit, but speaking of artists and IOTA, it reminded me of John Lay. And John Lay on Twitter, I think Solana S head was saying that he put a tweet out and was like asking John Lay if he's going to come out with his own collection. And John Lay hinted at it. If you want a whitelist to John Lay's collection, I wonder who'll be getting them. maybe the one-of-one holders, maybe the people who have a GM, maybe the people, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
So just for like what, a 5-sol entry on a GM. I have 2
Yeah.
IOTAs. So maybe that's the alpha here. It's not going to be some overnight thing, but these will cook. They always cook.
I hate you so much, but the door. I love you to death, but God bless. I was waiting to save that because newsflash, I'm gonna say it right now. That is my NFT showdown pick was gonna be GM. It was gonna be cheeky. It was gonna be sneaky. It was gonna be everything, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and lock it in right now. Because,
all right, go ahead, man.
Yeah,
it's game theory, man. You're not, and I've heard Shake, Solana shithead. There's a lot of guys that have been like, yo, man, I don't know. I've been talking and John Lee's been going back and forth on just like Twitter replies, right? So I'm like, man, you know what? It's not a bad idea. That's a great way. And to be honest, John, speaking about John Lee, his toonie, right? I got the list of it. So you have a John Lee, you got DGen Poet, you got High Blinks, Scum, you got McNat, you have Cody Tarantino, you have Scrog, you have Taniker, you have Toughies,
yeah,
Pnug, and those are the collabs.
Yeah.
Then you have Iron Paw that's coming in. So like those are and these are sick. I'm looking at them right now. They're totally sick, man.
Yeah, 100%,
Totally sick.
100%.
And as they burn, they'll leave, right? So 3,000 supply. Say the first 1,000 people burn theirs. Now there's only 2,000 supply left, right? And people really love them, and maybe they didn't get the Scumpy or anything like that, and you're sitting there like, okay, So there's a reason to kind of game theory this as well, I think.
Yeah, again, to me, Toonies is a sleeper. I know we always get lost in the sauce on everything coming up. I'm super stoked for Heist. And again, outside of Heist, I think this is one that I think is just a sleeper. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on it. I think you may be able to sneak in and possibly get one around mint or under mint, possibly on secondary. But I don't know. I feel like they've curated a really good community of people that are going to diamond hand these things. And look, I just see a lot of potential here. So I don't know. I will always back people doing cool shit. So Toonies is definitely a sleeper mint play for me, but damn it, Door.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, I had a quick question for you guys while we're still on this topic of mints. How do you feel about Motley DAO, KYD? How do you feel about these pre-sale projects that haven't really dropped much for us to let know? Like you guys got, tens of thousands of SOL and now, or USDC, right? And now, like, just an update. What's going on with your technology? What's going here and here? Because, like, to me, right, I don't know, man. I just don't like transparency. I'm fine with, we're taking our time. We're not just some type of transparency would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I have a significant portion of Motley DAO pre-sales, and it's fine. I like Ryan, and at the time about what they were seeking to do, I was super bullish on it, but then Tensor came up. I have a space with Ryan tomorrow night that I can't wait to talk to him and ask him questions about it. So I'm going to hold my opinions on it until Thursday.
Yep. I think I'll do the same thing. Joe, right now I have mixed feelings on them. I just obviously I want it out because when did we buy pre-sale? That was a while ago. I know I can't say anything because we pre-sold Heist in February or something like that. So people have been holding for 2 months. We are coming out though, in April. It's official. It will happen. Unless there's like just a catastrophic meltdown internally or something like that. But I just don't see that happening. We're so close to the finish line. So Motley DAO, I just don't know what's going on over there. Like it's been kind of quiet. So
yeah, I'm gonna hit up Ryan tomorrow, and just because, like I said, I like Ryan. He's a pretty straightforward dude. We had him on the show, so I'm gonna hold opinions until after I talk to him on the space.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Couldn't agree more. As far as KYDS, seems cool. I don't know. It's kind of on the back thoughts of mints coming up and everything like that. I know once we get closer to it, do you know when it's coming out, Joe? Because I have not heard a word from them in a while.
I think in April, if I'm not mistaken, it was the initial thought. We shall see though, because I don't know much about it either.
Yep.
So
they're kind of on the back burner for me right now. I'm more focused on Toonies. I want Toonies right now, and then let's talk about Soul Casino, guys, because we didn't really get a chance to on Thursday. We did have Crypto Wasta up, so if you guys missed that episode, we did talk to Wasta a lot. Look, Wasta Corp, Wasta's just a homie, right? And so I do think he will do way cooler things than people are giving him credit for. just with his background and stuff. But let's talk about Soul Casino. They did come out and say they're a 12 soul mint. That's a lot. That is a whole lot.
Dog.
Now to give you perspective, Soul Casino is ran by Turtles. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but Turtles are actually the ones who run Soul Casino. That DAO does. So here's my issue. One, you are asking for more than what your NFT, your underlying NFT, the DAO that runs the project is currently worth. That's a lot. And then on top of that, Turtles is about half the supply of what Soul Casino is going to be. The big red flag for me about Soul Casino, well, there's a few, right? There's a few. I don't mean, I wish them all the best. I wish everybody the best. I just hope their intents are true. The one that really worries me is the fact that they've increased supply now 2-3 times or something like that. They are now a 12 soul mint, and they keep going back on their numbers. They keep saying like, oh yeah, we're doing like, 1 million in volume a day. Here's the thing. I don't know why people aren't like realizing this too. As easy as it was to like fudge some numbers in NFTs, do you think it's not easy enough to fudge the numbers in gambling or anything like that? You could definitely play a two-way street right there and pump up your numbers right before mint and just absolutely cook over there. The one thing that worries me, that is, you're talking about you have to get to 24 soul in order to 2x right there. And I'm not saying they can't. I can definitely see them going to 20 soul, just riding the hype and everything like that. I do think it's going to be a mint flip sort of thing if I were to play it, but I'm not going to. I'm tired of gambling unless you're doing something cool. Like Dual Casino, I don't think you're beating out.
I think that's cool.
Rollbit. You're not beating out Rollbit.
No.
This to me is just like a watered down version of Rollbit.
Yes.
And another one that just dropped recently that apparently people are high on. The games look cool and everything like that is Dual Whales too, but I don't know enough about that. Maybe we can talk about the next episode. Regardless, I'm just not big on gambling plays right now. To me, it just doesn't I know they will do well. I know they have plenty of hype going into it. I just don't know how sustainable it is. I don't know why you would introduce a rakeback card if you're making all this money, apparently. To me, it just doesn't all add up. Like, logically speaking, that just introduced a whole bunch of regulatory and legal and operational risks for a 12 soul raise on all of this. This feels kind of like, red flaggy to me. So what are your guys' opinions on this? We'll go Door first and then Joe.
Yeah, dog. Super high mints have not historically done well. Outside of like, if you're already an established top project, let's say your Taios, of course your D-Gods, and soon to be Monkey DAO. But yeah, if your floor price is 9, how are you like shooting out a raise for 12? So Claynosaurus came out at 10, and that was Pico Bear, and that was like, woof. Why would I go with 12 soul and you already have a successful casino? Why is it mint price so high? Why'd you increase supply? Does your team not understand the market well enough to understand it's always easier to cut supply and that be bullish instead of to raise the supply and that be bearish? There's just so many questions that this is one of the things. I'm not wishing them ill, but it's just one of the things I'm just going to wait around and see. There's plenty of other gambling projects out there. You have Rollbit, which is the top one. You have DJ and Coin Flip that is still like, hey man, that thing is just strong and steady. Nothing crazy going on there. But DJ and Coin Flip is OG and it's still pulling in money. I think DJ Fat Cat's still around 30. So yeah, like that. You have your dual bot. So you're coming out with a new casino marketplace who's already going to be competing against all these other ones. And I'm more of the person who likes to look at things as a positive sum game where you have multiple winners. But when it comes to gambling, it's zero sum. You either use your marketplace or you don't. And if you're not using that marketplace, liquidity's not going there and rev share is not flowing back to the project or the holders. So it's just hard for me to see. Why pay 12 soul for this gambling project when other existing gambling projects might have potential higher upside when the gambling meta does eventually return? So I'm not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole. I could be wrong. I could miss out on liquidity, and that's fine. You can't catch them all.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat right now, Dor. I was not going to, sell my soul on Twitter when they were doing like guerrilla marketing, which props to them. They were on my timeline for like a month straight of everybody begging for Soul Casino whitelist. And then they came out with their mint price and the increased supply. And I was just like, I'm glad I didn't run for that because honestly, I'm a little bit skeptical on everything I see right now. Again, maybe I'm missing something. I read through the white paper. to me, I can't make sense of it from a business perspective on why they're doing it. Joe, I want your opinions too. What do you think about this? This is a large mint right here.
Yeah, it's a large mint. I haven't really looked into them, bro, to be honest with you. I have a whitelist. I won't be minting it. It's not worth what if it goes to 25 SOL, 13 SOL. Nah, I'm not worried about that. It's too much risk to mint 12 SOL when you can use that 12 SOL to buy 1 or 2 projects right now that will give you a 2 to 3x more efficiently.
Yeah.
It just seems like they're what are they offering rev share? Do you know?
Yeah, they will.
So they're a licensed
wait.
casino.
I actually don't want to
offering rev share is illegal
because I did not like explicitly see rev share was going to be in there.
Yeah, because if they're licensed, most licensed, like actual licensed casinos, it's illegal for them to do. So I don't know where the jurisdiction is and what they're going to try to give, but what other reason would you have to buy a 12 SOL NFT off rip other than thinking you're getting rev share back? What are you doing? If we're a PFP community, like, nah, dog. So like, it is what it is. Be careful with your money. I'm not telling you not to. Believe me, I'm a DGen too. If the hype's there and you think you can get a flip, man, instant liquidity, go ahead for it. But 12 SOL is a lot to chunk over to a project that is playing around, right? Hype's there. They keep raising their supply. It just doesn't seem true to themselves, right? If they did a 7,777 supply at 5 to 7 SOL mint and kept it right there, I think people would be much happier with that. But, more or less, I think a lot of these guys are out of touch and they need to come into the market and really talk to some people that are here every day.
Yep.
Because either they're smoking their own dope or they're just out of touch. So that's my two cents.
Yep, I agree. So I don't know. For me, I think there's other plays. Look, right now you can actually go mint. I don't even know how you pronounce it. Darren Mole is going to have to help me out with this, but CRVTRXR
creatures.
Okay, that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, I have a hard time with that hip lingo. You know what I mean? But I just minted one because I missed the first round. So definitely minting that. And then if I can mint toonies, I'm going to. Outside of that, all my lick is saved for the heist. And I know, guys, look, I'm on the team, of course. What, you're gonna bet on yourself? Look, I got, the only pre-sale I got was for REMs, which is where, like pretty much half our pre-sale went to was to REM holders. We got to reward our original holders. But I'm saving it for sweeping, guys. I'm going sweeping on the heist. I'm not stopping. The rest of my liquidity is pretty much tied into Quanos, Cyber Sams, and I do have a bag of remnants still. You know what I mean? So like that's pretty much where all my lick is in those 3 ecosystems, and then going into heist. I do have some wolf caps still. But outside of that too, like, I'm just supporting the homies until heist comes out, and then I'm just ripping that stuff, man. I'm ripping it.
So I will also be having liquidity on the side ready to sweep the heist. I've been telling people this pretty transparently, and a lot of other people I talk to have the same idea. So I'm like, if all my boys, who I wouldn't say are super, super rich, but they are far from poor, are planning on sweeping the heist, it's probably a good play.
Absolutely. So guys, let's get into, since my NFT showdown pick got kind of ruined because I don't want to take numbers until they were taken. 2 people from the stream did go buy a GM, so now they're at 5 instead of 4.15. So that's okay. I did have a backup pick just in case you guys did somehow sneaky pick this GM. I am going to go first though because I got front ran. So my backup pick is going to be Lotus Gang. There is no reason that Lotus Gang should be lower than Lily right now. It just doesn't make any sense on a supply sense. It's about 0.1 lower, so not that much lower, but look, if there's going to be an airdrop and it's going to be next week and eventually people are going to catch on, there's a catalyst upcoming for it. Just makes sense to me. If you guys don't know, Bunjil's been teasing this for a while. Go pay your royalties if you haven't. I love their retro royalty system. I love it, dude. I love it. It doesn't impede the people that want to trade your project just on a trading basis. So you get people who market make it and all that good stuff. But it also doesn't harm the people who want to be in your project, and you can ask for royalties then. I think that is such a cool way of going about it. Let the market dictate, all that good stuff. Look, Lotus Gang to me is my pick. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. I probably need to find it. It is 12. Dang it. It ran up, son of a gun.
Oh!
Whatever. I still like it at 12. Shut. God, it was literally like 11.1 or something like that.
Oh
Dude.
man, hey, that one soul could be the difference, man.
Yeah, I could. Whatever. I still like him at 12. I think they had a catalyst coming up. That's my pick. 12 soul. Lock it in. Over on Tensor. You can go find it. Let's go over. Who wants to go next?
You can go ahead, Joe. I don't think you'll pick mine. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe doesn't know. Joe's like, oh shit.
Joe's like, I was looking it up.
Listen to me right here. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about these NFTs, bro. Let me tell you something about these NFTs. I'm gonna go with good old Sharkify, babe.
Okay, that's good.
I like that.
I like
Go
it.
with Sharkify.
Yep.
I like that. What's Sharky at right now? It is at 14.88. Honestly, love that pick.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they dropped Sharky token yet. Have they, Joe?
No.
I know they're 10.
No, and they haven't dropped a few things that have already been stated earlier, like 1 month, 2 months ago, that are about to drop.
Yep.
And I'm not saying it because I'm like, I still need more of them, but I think there's catalysts to drive these back up to all-time highs again. Same with like OVOs, that type of deal, if they can do it right. Because you just see wise whales, you see the same wallets accumulating at the higher lows every time they come down, and they create little higher lows, little pockets, and then they coil up. I'm kind of seeing this in a lot of charts, all the same structure forming. So
absolutely. And guys, I cannot stress this enough again, because we are on stream and I see people in chat. Just because we say a pick does not mean you go in and ape it. I love you guys to death, but our risk is not your risk. This is not financial advice. We are just bozos trading JPEGs on the internet. Please like do your own research going into this and see if it's something that's like satiates your risk appetite, right? So I just wanted to proceed that.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said it. And because I figured this episode's like the chat's a little bit more active on these picks, I usually try to, have some fun with it. And I had ABC that one time and that was terrible. So I'm going to be a little bit more on the conservative side because you guys are just aping into things. I was torn between croissants, clay, SMB, and IOTA. SMB, I think we hit a bottom and we're just going to see that slow grind up. But I'm trying to win this week, so I don't think it'll do as much percentage gain this week. Same thing with croissants. I'm like, the momentum behind Claynosaurs, but what we really need to see croissants take off is that armor drop. So I'm torn between Clay and IOTA. Clay is the safer bet, in my opinion. The team has been constantly hinting at armor coming soon. So we're likely to see that continue to pump throughout the week. But I'm going to get risky and say IOTA, man. I just think that's another sleeper, as I discussed earlier on in the episode. John Lay's been hitting at a collection, and I think we're going to see those pump because the people that will probably get whitelist are the holders of those. So I'm going to go ahead and say IOTA. Sweet.
I love the IOTA pick. Man, front run my GM and then goes with IOTA. I love it. I cannot find it on Tensor. Where is it at on
Exchange Art? And that's why it's another sleeper, because a lot of people don't go there.
Yep. I'm gonna go over. Let's check the price over there. IOTA
$2.99, dog. And your boy's picking some up now because I'm like, you guys are gonna try to front run me. So
okay. We are at, I just want to confirm, $2.99. All right. IOTA for $2.99. That's a really good value pick right there. I mean, if it does pick up, this is literally cheaper than GM. And that, man, I'm glad I didn't pick GM. Honestly, you probably would have. Oh, dude, that's a really good pick. Good pick. Okay, cool, guys. Well, this has been a blast. We can talk about Alpha. I think we'll save Alpha for next stream because we had just so much to talk about. We kind of already talked about it today.
I know, right? We dropped it all to them.
yeah, we did. So, all right. Just to recap the picks for the NFT showdown, like we do every Tuesday, except last Tuesday because everybody left me. Lotus Gang at 12 Sol for me. We do have Joe with Sharks at 14.88 Sol. And Door with the sleeper cheeky IOTA pick at 2.99. We'll see who fares best. We'll see who loses on next Tuesday. But that about does it for us on this episode of RareFUD Radio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we really do appreciate it. Love that you guys are active in chat. If you guys have not seen a stream, go ahead and head over to YouTube. This is where you can interact with us live on stream. live with the audience. And you make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below. Make sure you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are on both platforms with episodes uploaded shortly after episodes. Guys also want to watch, you can watch on Twitter too. You can check out my profile at Bison Trades, and the stream does happen there as well, if that is a little bit easier for you. That about does it for us on today's episode. We'll see you Thursday. Actually, these two will see you Thursday. I will not be here on Thursday. I will be missing my first stream. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys tremendously, and we'll see you on the next